Hello, I'm Sam Kavathas with the Illinois State Bar Association, and this is Illinois Law. Our topic for this segment is how much is a personal injury case worth? My guest is Ron Kalish. He's a partner in the firm of Steinberg, Goodman, and Kalish. Ron has been practicing in personal injury field for over 20 years and also handles medical negligence cases. Ron is also a member of the Illinois State Bar Association Tort Committee. Welcome, Ron.
Thank you, Sam.
A lot of our viewers, people have lawsuits involved. They always want to know how you determine how much is their case worth. When can you first determine the value of a case?
You have to wait until you have recovered as best you can from your injuries to really know what the value of a case is.
And what can an injured person recover for in a personal injury matter?
Sure. The law provides for several categories of recovery in a personal injury case. Medical expenses, both what you've spent in the past and what you may need in the future. Lost wages, time missed from work, the wages. You can also recover for things like disfigurement if you have scarring, or also a category called loss of normal life or disability, which is sort of the inability to do things that you used to be able to do before. And another category is obviously pain and suffering, both what you've incurred in the past and what you may incur in the future.
And how about in cases where somebody has died?
Sure. In Illinois, the law provides for recovery for the surviving heirs. The heirs are not nieces, nephews, and extended relatives, but they call it the linear heirs. The most common is spouse, if the spouse survived, the parents of the person who dies, the children of the person who dies, and there are other additional parties like brothers and sisters who may also have a claim. And really the test is what loss that you sustained from the loss of that loved one.
How about if you had a condition that was existing before the accident and now you have it aggravated? Can you recover for that?
Absolutely. Everybody has something in them, some condition, whether it was causing you problems or not, a disease or an illness. And the law understands that and says that if a crash or an event caused your condition to get worse, then you can recover for that aggravation of that condition.
Now, how as a lawyer do you determine what the value of a case is? What do you use?
Well, like I said, you first want to make sure that you have reached your maximum medical improvement. You're as good as you're going to get. And for lawyers, we've had experience in handling lots of different kinds of cases, lots of different kinds of injuries, reviewing the medical records, speaking with the doctors, getting an understanding of whether this is a permanent condition or not. We can also look to other verdicts, other decisions by other jurors in the same county that your jury would be in, and those are just really guidelines. They're not.
Do you look to also the liability issue, meaning whose fault it was, to determine whether or not you're going to settle a case or how much a case is worth?
Yes. In Illinois, if you, the injured party, were also partially at fault, as long as your fault is less than or equal to 50% of the total fault, you can still recover money, except your injuries, the amount of money that you can recover, gets reduced by that percentage. And the jury actually is asked to determine, when they decide the case, what percentage of fault you were.
So do you factor in the risk that you're going to take in a case, whether you might lose the case or not, to determine how much a case is worth?
Yes, settlement is just that. You're going to accept a little bit less than you think the case might be worth. The other side may be paying a little bit more than they think the case is worth. And what you're doing is you're taking out of the equation the risk of that verdict being much higher or much less. So there's certainty.
The final thing, you see a lot of these loan companies advertising on TV for people who are injured in accidents. What kind of just general advice can you give people about that?
I think you need to just be very careful with it. These services charge a very, very high rate of interest. I think that's because there's probably a lot of risk involved in making those loans, but you really need to be careful, because nobody knows what the outcome of your lawsuit is. But when you've borrowed money, and that's what these loan companies loan you money before your case is even settled, you have to be aware of what your responsibility will be if you lose your case.
So you recommend that they talk to their lawyer about it before they get involved in that and review everything before getting involved in that?
Absolutely. I would just caution you to just talk to your lawyer, find out about the chances of your case being successful and what value that is.
All right, thanks very much, Ron. Thank you for watching. This has been Illinois Law, and I'm Sam Kavathas.